Alrighty, so we are going to start with full body cars. Okay. Remember, cars we use as both daily joint maintenance, right? Think of it as WD-40 all your joints with nutrients, with water, everything it needs, and it needs to go through that full range, slowly and under control. Right, big difference between whipping your arm around versus taking your time and going slowly and trying to really feel that ball and socket rotate. Okay, so every time, every day we do our cars, we use them in order to kind of help keep our joints healthy. And then we also use them as diagnostics, right? Yesterday, I was in the garden all day long. The next morning, when I do my cars, oh man, I'm feeling a lot more tension and tightness in my low back with my cat and cow. My hips are tight. Okay, maybe I'm going to spend more time on those areas, right? But you wouldn't know, or you wouldn't have as full of an assessment unless you actually kind of went through the full body. And so it's the best to do right away in the morning if you have time, just so that you start the day on like a really good note, right? And then throughout the day, if you have what we'll call hot spots, right? You know, if your wrist hurts or if your knee hurts, spend extra time on those spots. They need extra, movement, extra attention. So it's super important. Okie doke, let's get going. We're going to start just like this, sitting on our butts or on a pillow or on a yoga block. And try to keep yourself nice and tall, nice and long. Good. And we're going to start with neck cars. Okay. So neck, just try to move through the neck. Try to keep your shoulders down, kind of anchor yourself in, keep your spine nice and tall. And let's go ahead and we're going to start by slowly bringing that chin down towards our chest as far as we can. Good. And then you don't have to strain, just kind of go as far as it'll take you. Once we reach the bottom, we're going to stay down here and we're going to rotate to the left. I want you to think about scraping your chin alongside your chest and pointing our nose to the left. So the chin stays down. We're just looking left and pointing left. Now we're going to bring our left ear up and over our left shoulder, but try to keep your neck nice and long as you do that. Good. So bring that left ear up and over. And now as you reach the end of that motion, start to extend or look up and back as far as you can. And then slowly let your neck rotate all the way over to the other side. So now we're rotating in full extension. Earlier, we were fully flexed down and we rotated left. Now we're fully extended and we're rotating right. Now let that chin drop down towards our collarbone. And slowly finish that rotation all the way down, scraping your chin alongside your chest towards the middle. And let's rewind. So let's go ahead and rotate to the right, scraping our chin alongside our chest, pointing our nose to the right. And then let's bring that right ear up and over that right shoulder. And then let's go ahead and extend and look up. Let me just mute. Oh, perfect. Extend and look up, and let's go ahead and rotate all the way over to that left side. Bring that chin down towards your collarbone. And rotate towards the middle. Good. We're going to take a break in between reps. And what I mean by that is I want you to look up and back as far as you can. And let's go ahead and come right back down. So bring that chin down towards our chest. And we're going to rotate to the left, scraping our chin alongside our chest. And now let's go ahead and side bend to the left. So we're bringing that left ear up and over that left shoulder. If you feel a pinching during this, try to keep your neck nice and long, but don't push through that sensation. Good, look up and back and rotate all the way over to the right side. Bring that chin down towards our collarbone. And rotate back towards the middle. And we are coming back. Rotate to the right. Pointing our nose to the right. Side bend to the right by bringing our right ear up and over. Extend. And then begin to rotate all the way over as far as you can to the left first. And then bring that chin down towards our collarbone. And back towards the middle. Excellent. Very good. It's so important to spend a lot of time on your neck. Okay, we're going to move on to our mid-back. So what I want you to do is I'm going to turn on my side so you can kind of see. I want you to switch to this position where your knees are about shoulder width apart. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold on to our knees with our hands just like this. We're using them for leverage, okay? You're going to be using this to move your mid-back or your thoracic spine. So watch me. Watch how I'll sink just my mid-back. So I'll round it or flex it this way towards the wall behind me. And then I'm going to use my hands to extend and pull my sternum, my breastbone towards the front as far as I can, trying to arch just through that mid-back. Good, go ahead and join me. Let that mid-back round. Good, round, round, round. And let's come back. Pull yourself forward. Extend through as far as you can. Keeping your spine both arched and tall at the same time. Try to keep it as lengthened as possible as you arch forward. Sink back into flexion. Round through that mid-back. And pull yourself forward, extend through there. Good, so just like when we do cat-cows later, these are the same kind of movements I want you to go through, but much more actively, okay? And we're gonna be doing it and focusing one bone at a time. Last rep, go ahead and let the back of your spine round, good. And extend yourself forward. And through, excellent. We're gonna come back to sitting with our legs crossed. And we're gonna play with rotating that mid-back, okay? So we just worked on flexion and extension, but right now we're gonna work on rotation. So go ahead and give yourself a hug either way, or put your hands across your body. Now, first things first, don't let your body sink, okay? Don't let your spine sink. So nice and tall, 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 reach up, up, good. Now from here, we're gonna nicely rotate to our right first, nice and slow, good. Keep that spine nice and tall, and you should feel this mainly through that middle back, okay? Because we're sitting, our lower back and pelvis is kind of locked in. And so we can't force rotation out of our lower back. So that's why this might feel difficult or tight. Good. I want you to take a breath in, let it out. And I want you to squeeze more rotation to that right side. Good. Keep that spine nice and tall. Good, ready? One more breath in. Let it out. And squeeze a little bit of extra rotation. And we're gonna hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back towards the middle. Rotate yourself back towards the middle. And now I want you to come back to the right and try to go as far as you can. As far as you can. Try to come back to that end point that you just came from. As far as you can. Keep that spine nice and tall. Good, and come on back towards the middle. Very good. We're going to be shifting to the left side now. So keep that spine nice and tall. Let's go ahead and rotate to the left. As far as you can, stay nice and tall. Ready? Let's go ahead and take a breath in. Let it out. Squeeze a little bit more rotation out of that mid back only. That's our focus through that middle back. And we're holding. And ready? Take a breath in. And let it out. Squeeze that final rotation out. Hold here. Good. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back towards the middle. And ready, let's go ahead and rotate to the left as far as we can. One more time, trying to come back to that last point that we just left. And we're holding. And come on back towards the middle. Good. Man, that mid back is nice and loosey-goosey now, okay? We're gonna shift to our shoulder blades. So our shoulder blades sit on our rib cage, but they kind of float. They're really only connected to the collarbone and then to the shoulder joints with ligaments, but they're very loose connections. So your shoulder blade should be very mobile. It should have a lot of glide back and forth, this way, up and down. And many people's gets bogged down just from, work and all this kind of stuff. And so being able to have control of that shoulder blade is super important, not just for daily postural stuff, but even in the gym, being able to kind of set your shoulder blades back and down and protect you back with the deadlifts, with front rack positions, all sorts of stuff. And so knowing how to move your shoulder blades is super important. So we're going to start with one at a time so that you can really focus on moving only one as far as it can go in every direction. So we're going to go ahead and pull ourselves nice and tall spine position. And let's bring that left arm. So if your arms are resting on your knees like mine are, just bring it, rotate that thumb up this way, and just bring that arm straight up to shoulder height, just like this. And now we're going to keep it here. Don't let this arm point down. Don't let it point up. Don't let it go in. Don't let it go out. Okay, we are just staying right here, right in this plane. Okay. Now from here, I want you to shrug your shoulder up as high as you can. Good. Keep that shoulder shrugged, and I want you to squeeze it back or retract. So squeeze it back as far back as you can, and the whole arm is going to move backwards. Try to still keep it up nice and high. And now let's bring it down, and we're depressing the shoulder blade, which is moving the arm down. And now you're really feeling it through that lat back here. And now let's reach forward. So we're going to protract the shoulder blade, and we're going to reach forward with our shoulder blade, making the arm reach forward. Do you feel that motion as we reach forward? That's your shoulder blade moving. So let's go ahead and bring it back up. Squeeze it back. Bring it down. And reach forward. Good. And relax. Ugh. That's a good burn. Okay. Right side. Bring that arm up. Good. Shrug that shoulder blade up. Good. Keep it shrugged up. Squeeze it back. Bring it down, depress it down, 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 down. And now reach forward. Good. Reach forward to that shoulder blade, making that arm reach forward. And now shrug it up. Squeeze it back. Bring it down. And reach it forward. Good. So if you think about shoulder circles, right? We just did a backwards shoulder circle, but you can also do them forwards. And you can do them with your arm up or with your arm down. Anyway, okay? Very important. We're going to do more of those later, okay? Let's move on to shoulders. So the shoulders themselves. We're going to start with shoulder cars. We're going to start with this left side first. So we're going to rotate that whole arm open this way. And we're going to bring this arm across our body, up as high as we can, across our face, and then bring it right up next to our ear. And then from here, we're going to rotate in that way and reach back, keeping that elbow straight. Good. So reaching backwards, rotating in, all the way back into extension and full internal rotation. So we're fully, if you look at me from the side, we fully rotated this arm and it's fully rotated in here at our side. And so now we're going to reverse. So we're going to reach back with that arm first as far as it'll go. And you'll notice that there's that block. That's your cue to open up by rotating open. And now we can bring that arm up and then continue rotating as we bring that arm all the way up, across our face, across our body, all the way down. And then let's go ahead and get right away into rep number 2. So bring that arm back up, all the way up and across our face, all the way up next to our ear. As we reach the top here, now we reach this block, okay? When we're going reverse, we reach that one block. Now we're reaching this block. So now that's our cue to rotate in and send that arm back. And then continue that rotation motion while you're tracing that circle, while you're tracing that arc all the way around. And as we finish at our side, we're fully rotated in. And now we're just going to rewind. So send that arm back, lift it up and back as far as you can. Rotate it open. Bring it all the way up. All the way up and across. And down. Excellent. Right side. Ready, and bring that right arm up and across. All the way up and across our body and our face. As we reach the top, we're going to rotate in. I like to picture an X painted here. So if I'm rotating inwards, that X is going to disappear. Good. And continue that rotation motion in your mind's eye, trying to make that thing move and rotate as we finish the circle all the way in and around. And now we're going to rewind. So we're going to send that arm. We're going to send that arm back. We're going to rotate it open. Now we're going to bring it up. And as we bring it up, we're going to continue rotating as we bring it all the way across our face, across our body and down. And we're going to get right away into rep number 2. Bring that arm up. Good, all the way up. Now, as we reach the top, that's that block. So we have to rotate in and then send that arm back. And as we do that, we continue that rotation motion. We continue that rotation motion all the way around and through. Now we're fully rotated in, and now we're just going to rewind. So send that arm back. Rotate it open. Good. Bring it all the way up. All the way up. And as we bring it up, continue rotating as we bring it across and down. Good. Okay. Moving on to elbows. So elbows. Sit up nice and tall. Open out those arms this way. And keep them open here, just like this. And so keep your upper arm still. And all I want you to focus in is rotating from elbow down, rotating those palms away from you. Good, or down at least. Now rotate them open. And feel this motion only come from elbow down. Good, now keep rotating it open. This is called supination, this way. And now continue supinating as we start to bend the elbows. Good, so slowly bend the elbows as far as you can as you continue supinating. All the way through as far as they'll bend. And now at the top here, we're gonna rotate those palms away from us. So this is called pronation. And now we're gonna continue that pronation, continue pronating as we slowly extend those elbows down as far as they'll go. And now let's supinate or rotate open at the bottom, keeping in mind that our upper arms are not moving. And then continue supinating as we slowly flex as far as we can. And let's pronate. And extend down. And relax. Good. Let's move on to wrists. Okay, so now wrists, we're going to try and avoid that pronation and supination. Okay, we understand now that this is mainly a forearm and elbow motion. It is not our wrist carpal bones, these little bones that are in this area. There's 8 little bones in between where my fingers are. 8 of them, and they all sit and articulate or come together with these 2 forearm bones. And so one of your forearm bones rotates over the other one, but then all of these little carpal bones deal with movement of the wrist itself. So it's super important to know how to isolate wrist motion from forearm elbow motion, and then resist elbow motion while we're moving the wrist. Okay, so what I want you to do is we're going to start on this right side and grab your right forearm, your radius bone, right underneath here, underneath your thumb. And keep it nice and still because it's going to want to rotate open this way, okay? And so now keep it nice and still, fingers straight, and splayed open, and keep them splayed open. And now let's go ahead and go through our cars. So what we're gonna do is bring our palm down as far as we can first. Good, so the other way, Jason. Good. And now we're gonna rotate towards our pinky. And then up. And then continue. So if you're just here like this, right, we're only here just like that. And I'll bring that palm back up as high as it'll go. And then over towards our pinky. Down. And you notice I'm not moving my forearm. towards that thumb, up. It's hard to keep those fingers splayed, so really do your best to do that while we move. Good. Give me one more rotation in this direction. All the way around. Good. Now we're here, freeze, and we're going to rewind. So we're going to go the other way. So go towards your thumb, and then out and down. And then over towards your pinky. And up. And over to the right. And down. And up and over towards the pinky. Go one more. Over. Down. Across. Up and through. Good. So you can do these with your fist closed as well, lightly, like not too hard. And then just hold your forearm as you do your circles this way. Okay. Or you can play with keeping your fingers straight or keeping your fingers open. They're just all different ways of doing it. Okay. So let's switch to that left side. So start neutral, just like this. Splay those fingers. Good. And let's go ahead and bring that hand up into flexion. Over towards our pinky. Down into extension. And then round out the bottom arc and then start to come up towards that thumb. Round out that top arc, bring it all the way back up. And you're going to notice your fingers wanting to do something weird like this. That's because they're just trying to like cheat and do a good job. So try to do your best to keep your fingers straight, especially as you come up into flexion. Good. So we're all the way up and continue rotating towards that pinky. We got 3 rotations this way. Nice and slow. Good. 2, one more. Good. That's 3. And let's reverse. So go the other way. Down. Across. Up. Back in. Good. Out. Down. Good. It's 1. That's 2. One last one. All the way down. Feel that forearm burn? It's a good one. Awesome. Very good. So technically, right, you should also do finger cars. We don't really ever do them in Kinstretch just because there's always so much work that needs to be done for shoulders and hips, stuff that's more functional for, CrossFit. But I mean, you have a lot of joints in your fingers and it's very important to move them. And so now you have these joints here in where your knuckle is. And so these guys can have all sorts of motion. So they have this round circular motion. These 2 up here are more hinge-esque, right? They just kind of go back and forth this way. And so to do finger cars, all you have to think about is, let's say I want to start with my thumb. I'm just going to try and do a nice slow circle as far as I can. Keeping everything else still, and then I could rewind and go the other way. And then for the rest of the fingers, it's just trying to trace the biggest circle you can, and then one at a time. And then the upper joints, it's just about flexing as far as it'll go, and then extending as far as it'll go. Flexing, extending. And obviously it'll get hard when you like do your ring finger, where it's a lot harder to do, or your pinky than, you know, your pointer, but it's good practice to be able to move and keep your fingers super healthy, especially if you do anything with your hands like we all do. So let's move on to lower body before we do some more spine stuff. We're going to do our hip cars. And so now hip cars, my favorite way to do them is standing. And so standing, I'm just going to show you. You don't have to get up. You don't have to get up. If you have like a door jamb, right, you can just press yourself up against that door jamb with my left side. And now my right hip is the hip that I'm using to move. And so I can isolate the movement in this right hip by wedging myself against something. In the gym, right, we use the rig to do that, but you can do that at any door jamb that you have in your house and then switch sides. However, there's another skill of being able to keep your left side still while you're moving, maybe if you have a balance, but while you're moving just the right side. So knowing not to rotate through this left side and come all the way through, right? And being able to just isolate the movement through one hip, that is its own skill, okay? So both are important to practice. Today, we're gonna do our hip cars from the ground. So now on the ground, there's many ways we can do them. We can do them from any position, technically. You can do them from your side. So we've done these tons where you lay on your side, just like this. And then the top leg is the one that's moving around. You can do them from your back and just go through a certain part of the motion. Okay, we can do them from our quadruped position. So from cat-cow, and we can just move around this way. As long as you know how to isolate the motion only through that hip joint. So it's super important to know how to do that first before you start to like do some of the harder positions. And so my favorite one on the ground, one I like a lot, is side. So let's go ahead and lay on our side. We're going to lay on our right side down. Good. And so now, first things first, keep your hips stacked. Your hands can be anywhere. They can just be kind of used for balance. But keep your hips stacked, one on top of the other. And so the top leg, our left leg in this situation, is our working leg, okay? So we're gonna slowly bend our knee. We're gonna bring that knee up towards our chest. But go slow and think about only moving through that hip. Don't round out through your lower back. Only come up as high as that hip will allow you. Good. Once we reach that level, we're going to open that gate, as I call it. So now we're opening up towards the sky this way. But don't go so far that your pelvis rolls open. Okay, so keep your hips stacked and just lift that leg up as far as it'll go. And now keep this knee here, and we're going to rotate in by sending that foot back behind us. Good, and as we finish that motion, we're going to almost donkey kick. So send that leg as far back as it'll go. But once again, keep in mind if your pelvis is rotating open or not. So really just only go as far as the hip will take you. And now round out that circle. And we're just going to rewind. So send that leg back. Lift it up towards the sky. rotate it open. Bring that knee up towards your armpit if you can. Rotate, close that gate. And slowly extend it back down to neutral. Good, ready, rep number 2, bring that hip up. So knee comes up towards your chest. Open that gate. Rotate in. Send that leg back. Round out that circle. And we rewind. Send that leg back. Lift it up and then rotate open. Close that gate. And come through and down. Excellent. Let's switch sides. Good. So number 1, hips are stacked. And let's go ahead and slowly bring that right knee up towards your chest. Slowly open that gate out. Rotate in. And then send that leg back. Round out that circle. And we rewind. So send that leg back. Lift it up. Rotate open. Bring that knee up towards the armpit. Close that gate. Extend that leg down. And ready, rep number 2. Bring that knee up towards the chest. Open that gate. Rotate in. Extend back. Round out that circle. Freeze. And rewind. Send that leg back. Lift that knee up. Rotate open. Excellent. Bring that knee up towards your armpit. Close that gate. And down. Very good. We're going to do our knee cars from our back. And we're going to do our knee cars from 2 different positions, actually. But we're going to start on our back. Go ahead, just lay on your back. And you can keep your right leg either straight or bent. I'm going to keep both of mine bent just like this. And we're going to start with this left side. And what I want you to do is bring this hip leg up as high as you can. Good. And let's just focus on bending. So all I want you to do is flex this knee and bring your heel as close to your butt as you can. See if you can touch your butt with your heel. Good. So you got to squeeze through your hamstring a lot. And then reverse. Extend as far as you can. We're going to really squeeze through your quad, trying to push our knee as far as we can in an extension. And back down in a flexion. As far as we can. Flex, try to touch your butt with your heel. I got a long way to go. And extend. Good. Last one. Ready? Flex. As far as you can, flex that down, really squeeze. And extend up. Very good. Switching sides. Right leg up. Ready, and flex down first. Flex as far as you can. Ooh, I think I'm better on my right side. Good. Flex as far as you can. Really squeeze through that hamstring. And extend up. Good. Squeeze through that quad, trying to force that knee into extension. And flex down. Good. Flex as far as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And extend. Good. Last one. Flex down. And extend up. Very good. Come on up. And we're going to move on to the rotation part of knee. So we're going to stay on this right side. What I want you to do is come up in a position where you can bend your right knee at about a little less than 90 degrees or so, just like this. First things first, bring your foot up and keep this engaged. Keep this nice and tight. Now I want you to use this heel as a pivot to rotate your whole shin outwards and then inwards. So seeing me from the front, let's see if I can come real close. Okay, so I'll do it in the air. So watch my whole shin. It's gonna rotate outwards this way and then in, but I'm not moving my whole leg. Okay, so keep your top of your leg still and just go ahead and use that heel as a pivot and rotate in and out, back and forth. So go ahead, back and forth. We're rotating out as far as it'll go. And then we are rotating in as far as it'll go. Rotate out. And rotate in. Good. One more. Rotate out. And rotate in. Good. Switch sides. So you can even feel on the front of your shin, there's a little bump here at the top. You can feel that bump as you rotate out, and you'll feel that bump move, okay? This whole thing moves out as we rotate out, and then rotate in. This whole thing is moving in. Good. That motion's all coming from our knee. Good. Rotate out. And rotate in. Good. A couple more. Rotate out. And in. And out. Last one. And in. Good. Okay, so now let's stay on this left side. I want you to bring your leg up off of the ground and hold on to that shin. And so now we're going to try, just like we did with elbow and wrist cars. When we did our wrist cars, we're trying not to move our elbow and rotate our elbow. We're about to do our ankle cars. So try not to rotate through that shin like we just did with knee cars. Try to keep that shin still as we go ahead and do our ankle cars. So I want you to start your ankle cars by pointing your foot and ankle down into what's called plantar flexion. And now we're gonna come in, bring that foot up as high as we can. Good. Out. Down. Let's go ahead and do 3 circles in a row going this way, so counterclockwise. Nice and slow. And it's at this point from the top going out, that your whole shin will want to move. Okay, so this is the hardest part, to keep control over that shin not moving while moving through that ankle. Good. Give me one more rep. Going counterclockwise. Good. Freeze at the bottom, and let's rewind. So rotate the other way. We're going clockwise now. Bring it up, across, down, in, up, across, down, in, up. Last one, across, and down. Good. Woo. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Right side. So hold on to that shin. Let's go ahead and point that foot down. Let's go rotate in. Bring it up. Out. Down. In. Good. Up and out. Down. Good. All the way up and around, taking our time, going nice and slow. As we finish and point down, let's rewind. Going counterclockwise, bring that foot up, across, down, the last one, bring that foot all the way around, up, across, and down. Excellent. Whew, very good. So you can as well, we're not going to today, but finish with toe cars as well, okay? So just like we did finger work, you can do toe work. And so toe work would feature mainly lifting up the big toe independently, okay, on its own. Actually, you know what? Why don't we do it? Why not? Why not? Let's finish with some toe cars. So start with that left side. And we're going to start with that big toe first. And if you need to, you can hold on to your little toes this way. Okay, so go ahead and just lift that big toe up and then slowly bring it back down. And then bring that big toe up and slowly bring it back down. Good, one more. Bring that big toe up and slowly bring it down. Good. So now we're going to do all of the little toes together. So if you need to, you can hold on to your big toe. Ready, and lift your little toes up and bring them down and lift them up and down. Good. Last one, bring them up and down. Good. Now let's bring all of them up and keep them up. And now let's just try to bring the big one down on its own. Bring it up. Good. Yeah, if you practice every day, give it a couple weeks. You'll be playing piano. Good. Bring it down. And up. Last one. Ready? Bring it down. Oh, hey, pup. And bring it up. Good. Let's go ahead and switch to the outside toes. So keep the big toe up and then just bring those outside toes down. Bring them up. And then down. And up. And down. Good. Switching sides. So right side, ready? Bring that big toe up. You might notice a difference between the two sides. One side might be better. It is for me. Bring it down and up. And down. And up. And down. Good. Now keep the big guy down and let's go ahead and lift the little ones up. And down. And up. And down. Last one. Up. And down. Good. Now bring all of them up. And let's just bring that big one down. And then back up. And down. And up. Last one. Down. And up. Good. Now keep that big toe up in extension as far as you can, and then flex those little ones down. Up. Down. Up. Down. And up. Very good. Great work. So give me 1 second. Let me pause this YouTube.